Hello fellow guitar geeks, this is the Cirrus, or the Spatial Temporal Modifier, and in this video I'm going to attempt to transport you to a distant galaxy or dimension far away, musically speaking, and do a deep dive on the functions of the pedal, and at the end I will give you my review. This is KMA Audio's first fully digital pedal, and it's a delay and reverb in one. As you can see, it's chock-a-block with knobs and switches, and they've managed to fit a lot of different variable options into this pedal, which means that it might look a little bit scary and a little bit daunting, because it did to me at first. But don't worry, I will get to that in a moment. I'll explain everything. But first, and most importantly, it makes beautiful, washy, dreamy, relaxing, ambient sounds. A little bit like this. So yeah, there is a lot going on with this pedal, and that's not even to mention the secret, hidden message within the artwork. Can you see it? All will be revealed. Strap in, because I'm about to explain this pedal as quickly and concisely as I can. That is a whole lot of knobs and switches, lots of variables. However, if we split this into two halves, it's got delay on this side and reverb on that side. This is the delay mix knob, so between wet and dry. If we turn it all the way this way, the signal is completely dry, and there's no delay, just your clean signal, but with reverb. If we turn that down, it's just going to be your clean signal with no delay and no reverb. If we do this, you've got a little bit of delay, but still no reverb, and then as much, mix it as you wish. There is a nice little notch in the middle, so you can tell when you're exactly on 50-50 wet and dry. That's a cool feature. I guess the next most important part is this. This is the order switch. So at the moment it's set to RVB, which is reverb, meaning we've got delay going into reverb. If you switch it the other way, it's in DLY, or delay, you've got reverb going into delay. But I would argue that that is the most normal setting. So to break it down further, let's forget about the reverb for a moment and just talk about the delay. Our first mode, SH, stands for sample and hold, which is a filter that makes the delays dance around. And when you're in this mode, the strength of your picking determines the depth and rate of the filter, which you can adjust with the sensitivity knob. The second mode is called Mod. Mod mode stands for modulation, and in this mode, the pitch of the delayed notes will be modulated. In this mode, the strength of your picking will affect the depth of the pitch modulation, which you can also affect with the sensitivity knob. And the third delay mode is Oct, which stands for octave. In octave mode, the strength of your picking hand determines how long it will take for that octave note to fade in. And of course we can adjust this with the sensitivity knob. Moving down, we have the time knob, which can take the delay from a short slapback to a big ol' echoey monster cave. Down here we've got repeats, which is also the same as a feedback, which you might see on a different delay pedal. And this sets how many delays should happen. So when you go this way, that gives you just one delay, or fewer. And then when you go this way, it goes all the way to infinity and beyond. This is the tap division switch, which if you're in the middle will give you no divisions, and if you've got it down here will put you in triplets, and up here will give you dotted eighths. And finally, on the delay side of the Cirrus, we've got this foot switch, which is labelled tap, which means it's a tap tempo, and you need to tap it at least 3 times to register the tempo of the delay you want. But if you hold the tap button down, it will ignore whatever's set on the repeats knob and set the repeats to maximum, giving you a huge sound. I hope you're still with me. It's fairly simple, but before we get to the reverb side, let's take a quick kalimba break. Just as there are 3 delay modes, there are also 3 reverb modes. And you can select that with this switch here. So the one at the top is HP. In HP mode, the Cirrus has a closing high-pass filter. And in HP mode, your picking strength determines the cutoff frequency of the filter, and you can adjust that sensitivity with the sensitivity knob. When the pedal's set in mod mode, you can modulate the pitch of the reverb with your picking strength. And this time, using the sensitivity knob with your picking strength, you can adjust the depth of the modulation, and it can go from a tiny little warble to full-on wobble fest. The third and final mode of the reverb is an opening low-pass filter. And once again, the sensitivity knob and your picking strength determine the cutoff frequency. The decay knob just here determines how long the reverb is. And you can go from short and roomy to big, cavernous and spacious. The dampening knob is another way of saying high cut, so by using this you can adjust the high frequencies of the reverb. Just when you thought there was no more to explain and everything was clear, the engage foot switch has 3 functions. Firstly, it will turn the pedal on or off. You have to be quite strong with that one, really kick it. But when the pedal is switched off, like it is now, when you hold down that engage button, it becomes a momentary foot switch for the reverb. The third function of the engage switch is that if the pedal is already switched on, which it is, if you hold down that foot switch, it maxes out the decays of the reverb, making your sound huge and as big as the pedal can make it. There's 2 things left. The expression mode in the middle of the pedal, that big knob right there. This is where the secret hidden message of the artwork comes into play. I've got my expression pedal already plugged in to the unit, and you might be wondering, how does one define what the EXP mode does? Well, you turn this knob, you see, and it points to one of these little rays. That's the secret of the artwork. Right now, it controls the decay of the reverb. If I move it down a notch, it controls the dampening of the reverb. Another notch and we're controlling that sensitivity knob. One more notch takes us over to the delay side, and now we're controlling the sensitivity of the delay. One more notch and we're affecting the repeats of the delay, and the final notch affects the time of the delay. Now you know the secrets of the Cirrus artwork, you can't unsee it. And I didn't see it at first when I first started playing with the pedal. It was only afterwards I noticed. And I love the fact that the art is combining with the functionality to become one thing. That's a bit weird thing to say, but it's true. If that's not enough, the Cirrus also has an effects loop. To make use of the effects loop, you put an insert cable in, and I've got mine going into the Logan, which is also from KMA Audio Machines, the low gain drive. And then whatever's in the effects loop comes before the delays and reverb. So by using the mix knobs, you can affect how much of that pedal is in there. So you can have, by turning the delays all the way down, just there in that mix, you can have just the overdrive pedal with some reverbs, or with no reverb if you wanted it. Or by using the mix knob here, you can mix that in to your taste. And that, ladies and gentlespoons, is the Cirrus explained to the best of my ability, and I've really enjoyed playing that pedal. So now, let's go to the review. So where to start? The build quality, the sounds, the artwork? Probably the sounds. You probably agree this is not a basic reverb and delay stuffed together in one box. It's more ambient, it's more for soundscapes, more experimental, rather than something for straight rock and roll or something like that. The sounds you can create with the Cirrus means that it could be the basis, the main basis of an ambient rig. Now, it may not be the only reverb and or delay or slash modulation thing that you might have in your rig, but there is so much on tap with the Cirrus that this video could have been hours long. It isn't hours long. I tried to make it as concise as possible, but I've been playing this pedal for probably months now. I've had it for quite a while, and it is my sit down and fiddle around and not really worry about the notes I'm playing. It's more like a feeling than something musical or theory based. Even though the sounds are very tweakable, there is only one reverb in there and one delay, so it's actually quite basic once you get your head around the knobs, which it took me a while to do. And if you're watching this thinking, that's too many knobs for me, Andy, then you'd be surprised at how easy it is to deal with them. Which brings us neatly on to the build quality. The build quality of this pedal is some of the highest standards I've ever seen. There is absolutely no issue with the build quality whatsoever. Everything's tightened the way it should be. Everything feels high quality. When you're turning the knobs and plugging things in, it feels quality. Recently on the channel, I had an interview with Enrico from KMA Audio Machines, and he even told me about the attention to detail of having the nuts line up straight. So if you take a look at the sockets of the pedal, you'll notice those nuts are parallel with each other and parallel with the case. That may seem trivial, but think of it in the Apple kind of way, that if they've put that amount of detail on the outside, they must have gone fully on with the detail on the inside. KMA is a name that's growing in the pedal building business, and at time of release this pedal costs 199 euros, or thereabouts in whatever currency you're dealing with. And this is a lot of pedal for the money. So as I said before, this could be the main brain of an ambient rig. I don't think it's something you just add to a rock and roll gig for one song. I think it's something you truly invest your rig into and maybe design the rig around this pedal. The fact that you can add stuff in the effects loop is awesome, because you can just plug in, actually you could use this to plug in an overdrive pedal that you didn't have space for somewhere else, or you want to put in the chains. That's kind of useful. Another function. My final word on the price is that I think it could easily be a little bit more expensive and it would still be a good deal. That being said, please don't make it more expensive, Enrico. I think it's fine where it is. There are, of course, some other delay/reverb pedals on the market, and an alternative to this Cirrus might be the Slur from Walrus Audio, or the Keeley Caverns, which is also another delay reverb, or the Ethereal from Wampler. However, this Cirrus seems to be the one with the most functionality at the moment. Functionality for the price. Not meaning that it's cheap or nasty in any way. I just mean that some of those other pedals don't have the functionality this one does. If there are any other pedals that come to mind, then let me know in the comments section, or maybe a shootout between some of those pedals I've just mentioned. And that takes us to the end of the video, which means you are in the end of the video club. And to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite, when you leave your comment down below, please also include the phrase, "Why so Cirrus?" And that'll let me know that not only are you up for a bit of fun, that also you've made it here and we can feel some togetherness in this world. That's it for the video, but it's not it between you and I, because you could go and watch one of those videos over there, or you could click subscribe down there and then come back at any time you want, really. Just I'm there. I'm on your beckoning call. I'm going to go off and have a nice warm cup of tea and bathe in some ambient guitar music. I'll see you soon. Bye.